We assume that everybody remembers who Bodhidharma is and what we're reviewing here, the Bloodstream Sermon. So I've just like missed a paragraph really. So people, and that paragraph is just referencing to, it's not easy to understand the path. So you need guidance. To understand your nature, you need guidance. Without guidance, it's hard to determine your true nature, because we're getting constant feedback and information from our ego, from our desires, from our wants, from our personality, from our character, from our ancestors in our blood, in our DNA. All these things communicating and talking and looking for tech precedence over our minds. Yeah. So we step away. People who don't see their nature and imagine they can practice faultlessness all the time are liars and fools. They fall into endless space. They're like drunks. They can't tell good from evil. People who don't see their nature and imagine that they can practice faultlessness all the time are liars and fools. They fall into endless space. They're like drunks. They can't tell good from evil. If you intend to cultivate such a practice, you have to see your nature before you can put an end to rational thought. To attain enlightenment without seeing your nature is impossible. Still others commit all sorts of evil deeds, claiming karma doesn't exist. They erroneously maintain that since everything is empty, committing evil isn't wrong. Such persons fall into a hell of endless darkness with no hope of release. Those who are wise hold no such concepts. But if our every moment or state, whenever it occurs, is the mind, why don't we see this mind when a person body dies? The mind is always present, you just don't see it. But if the mind is present, why don't I see it? Do you ever dream? Of course. When you dream, is that you? Yes, it's me. And if that's you, is what you're doing and saying different from you? No, it isn't. But if it isn't, then this body is your real body, and this real body is your real mind. And this mind, through endless eons, without beginning, has never varied. It has never lived or died, appeared or disappeared, increased or decreased. It's not pure or impure, good or evil, past or future. It's not true or false. It's not male, it's not female. It doesn't appear as a monk or a layman, or an elder, or a novice, or a sage, or a fool, a Buddha, or a mortal. It strives for no realization and suffers no karma. It has no strength or form. It's like space. You can't possess it and you can't lose it. Its movements can't be blocked by mountains, rivers, or rock falls. Its unstoppable power penetrates the mountains of the five chakras and crosses the river of samsara. No karma can restrain this real body. But this mind is supple and hard to see. It's not the same as the sensual mind. Everyone wants to see this mind, and those who move their hands and feet by its light are as many as the grains of sand along the Ganges. But when you ask them, they can't explain it. They're like puppets. It's theirs to use. Why don't they see it? The Buddha said people are deluded. This is why When they act, they fall into the river of endless rebirth.